Okay, Yoshiko-san is back, Lani is back, and
We're
two is
back.
Okay, everybody is back. Okay, we had a very good conversation. Now, what did you have? Yoshiko-san, what did you have?
Well, I talked a lot. Turo or Larry, could you summarize the highlights of our discussion?
Really?
Larry.
Well, we talked about the difficulties some Asians have talking. No, we talked about the challenge of building safety in the conversation.
Oh.
So that people feel safe enough to speak out their truth. We talked about the different cultural contexts in Asia, and that the sensitivity to the social context, it seems higher often in the Asian context. And again, it's not that other places it's easy to talk and Asia it's hard. It's that sensitivity to the social context is different. And so it's important to be aware of that. It's important as a facilitator to try to create a space in which people feel safe enough to speak. And then we talked about robots and talking to robots. And
what happened? In the future, robot might have, the emotion.
Well, it has to do with the space. Tool was talking about.
Yes.
Oh, I think we lost him.
He just.
Yeah. Maybe I mentioned about.
Okay.
One TED talk I recorded. He is the robot designer, and then he show up the research that happened right now. But in which country I don't remember that a children like 6, 7, 8 years old tend to tell the secret to the robot more than their parents. That happened right now. Yeah. Just the information. Yeah.
That is another interesting topics which we really want to talk about. The future. AI, what kind of role AI will play? What kind of role the robot will play role in the context of facilitation? How role as a facilitator has changed in the age of AI. That's the interesting point. Now, in our group, we talked about sort of dialogue, the essence of dialogue, and Lausanne explained very, very elaborately explained the relationship between mind, heart, and will. Could you briefly, Lausanne, explain what you talked about?
The question was, how can we bridge boundaries?
Right,
and
right.
We talked, and I suggested that it doesn't matter what kind of boundaries it is. Without these components, it probably won't work. And if it did work, it would be very short-term and superficial. And here are the things that we discussed, and that is open mind, open heart, and open will. And open will is probably the hardest thing to get. If you don't have that, you won't have an open heart to build the relationships. And without the relationships, you wouldn't have the open mind to accept the different ideas and different perspectives and the different truths. And what would end up happening, and I just added this, is that you may just do the stuff, just the open hand by doing the work, and you'll focus on the surface things. So the example that we talked about is, let's say you have a conflict with your boss. You're afraid to tell the truth because you don't want to lose your job. You don't want to lose your paycheck. And so what you would do is that you might decide not to have a good relationship with your boss. You would do what is needed to maintain your job, which is focusing on the logical things, the problem solving, and not invest in the rest of it. And at the bottom of it is the open will, but it's a two-way street. Both sides have to be willing in order to have any kind of relationships. And in our previous discussions, we talked about how important relationships are, because if you have relationships, everything else will naturally fall in place. And so drawing the idea of the bridge, it is a two-way street, and the open will is really an investment on both sides.
Yeah, thank you, Rosanna. Yeah, you're saying that will is very important, basic, and also relationship is important, and it relates to how to build, the psychologically safe place. In order to have a good relationship, we have to have we have to feel safe in conversation. So I think that's my reflection.
Well, and I think it's also important in facilitation for us to remember what Rosanna was just talking about, that we're not facilitating just this event or this meeting. We're actually inviting the group into a deeper conversation and into a deeper relationship. And that's important for us to keep in mind, because it changes how you design and how you think about your design and your expectation of the group in the process.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's very, very important, I think. Now, I think we have had a very deep conversation, but we're running out of time. We have 8 minutes left. So before closing this session, I would ask you to think about this question. That is, what topics or questions do you want to talk if we have another chance to have a next virtual cafe? Actually, we are going to have share OST, Birds of a Feather, and where participants we propose topics to discuss, to talk about, and what we have been doing in virtual cafe is preparation for that conversation. So, based on the conversation we have had, what topics or questions do you want to talk if we have another chance to have next virtual cafe? Kusaki-san, Yoshiko-san, could you lead our conversation? Harvest?
Right. Okay. So, do you want to carry on the group session, or we could put our thoughts in the chat box? In the interest of time, I propose that everyone open the chat box, and then I think during the course of the conversation, you have some thoughts that occurs to you, and then and could you create one question which you want to place with other fellow facilitators and people who are interested in facilitators, and explore more. Is that okay? Is that going to be all right for you, Katri-san and everyone?
Yes.
So that we can record it. Does everyone know how to use the chat box? All right, right. So we give you 2 minutes, and could you type in your thoughts? What questions do you want to bring to the next round of virtual cafe? Please start.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Did you finish everything? Did you finish?
Who still needs time? Did you finish writing? Okay, if you want to carry on writing, please go ahead. But in the meantime, I give floor to Katori-san for closing remark.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I really enjoyed the conversation with you this time. Especially, I think this is the third time, third virtual cafe, but I think the third one is a really exciting conversation. And also we had a very good question, very good topics to talk during the upcoming IF conference in Osaka. So I want to close this time, but before closing, if you have any comment or the final comment, I invite you to make. Also, I want to, Lausanne, could you do me a favor? I mean, you created a very nice, graphics, recordings. Could you send to my, email address? I mean, which appears in the invitation email. Some of those graphics, so that I can, so that we can share with other participants. Using on the U, I will upload your drawing. So if you select, please.
Of course. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you very
I'll
much.
do that.
Okay. Is there anyone who wants to make comment? I mean, just, since we're just, 5, 6 people, so just let
Into the round.
Yeah, around. Yes.
So the in terms of checkout, could you share with us some few words? Who is ready to start?
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Yeah,
Good job, please. Thank you.
Thank you for your nice conversation. I was really so happy to join this session, and then especially Rosanna's picture was impressive. I want to try to run the graphic. Maybe I will do it. So anyway, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Who wants to follow Gucho? Hi, two.
It's a very productive conversation, and I learned a lot, and I have so many things to think ahead from the ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Who wants to follow Tom?
I'll go.
Right, okay, right, go ahead.
First, a question. To, I assume that you also made some graphic notes during this World Cafe.
The line is blocked for a few seconds.
Notes that you might have taken?
Rosanna, could you repeat it, say it again? The line was blocked for a few seconds.
Okay. I was asking Tol if he would be willing to share some of his graphic notes during this session, if he had done any, because he's a fantastic artist, and I know that he would have some beautiful drawings as well. I'm putting you on the spot. Do you have any?
A moment.
So while he's looking for that, I would say that it has been an interesting and conversations about bridging boundaries. I think there's lots of boundaries that we could break through and bridge, and I'm looking forward to many further conversations about that. Yeah, so Tol, can you hold up your drawings if you have any?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Right. Okay. It's
Look at that.
Wonderful.
I knew it.
Wow.
I knew
it.
Send me your graphic as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. Right. So who wants to follow Rosanna? Maybe Tal, you want to share a few words with your graphic? Tal?
Yeah.
Who's next?
Okay.
Maybe.
Tal, do you want to share with us a few words with your graphic?
Sorry?
Do you want to share the few words with us, the final few words with us with your graphic?
Okay. That's okay. That's fine. Thank you.
Right. So graphic is his few words. It's a means of communication. So Larry, how about you? Are you ready?
I'm sorry I was late coming, but I had a great time being here. I would also like copies of the graphics. The context, the regional context for our IAF conference, it just reminds me how strong this question of safety and how we build safety, but at the same time, if we're not willing to be bold and challenge the safety sometimes, then we also get stuck. And so it's not an either or choice. It's trying to figure out how we facilitate the whole process. I am complete.
Thank you.
Okay. Saito-san? Maybe. Or Kusaki-san?
Thank you very much, everyone. I enjoyed talking with you. It's always good to talk to the people with a variety of experience in facilitation, and it is a good food for thoughts. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next time again.
Okay, thank you very much. Saito-san, do you have Oh, it's muted. Okay. Yeah.
皆さんが生き生きと楽しくお話しされていたのがすごく印象的でした。タウさんの、グラフィックは私も見て、あ、すごいって思ったので、ぜひシェアをしてください。ロザンナさんのグラフィックもすごく、素晴らしいものだと思うんで、できれば書いたものを、カズさんに送っていただけると助かります。
Mr. Saito also enjoyed graphics of the Tao and Lausanne, and he want you to send images so that we can share. Thank you very much. Now, it's 5 minutes past 12. Thank you very much for your joining. And next virtual cafe will be 28th instead of 25th. I originally announced that the fourth virtual cafe will take place August 25th, but it changed. The next time is the 28th. At the evening. Okay, thank you very much.
Right, take
have
care.
a nice day. Bye-bye.
Have a nice Sunday.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.